Arsenal fans, finally, Viktor Gyokeres has been given clearance to complete his move to Arsenal. 63.8 million, which I'll break down in a moment. That's the total agreement. It's been reached with his club Sporting. He's going to have a medical in London to finalise the move. Then he'll fly out to join up with the squad on their pre-season tour, which is in Asia. So this is the breakdown. Arsenal are set to pay £55.1 million as a fixed fee, and an £8.7 million more in potential add-ons. So that's the breakdown. Now, negotiations around the bonuses dragged on for, well, more than a week until there was a breakthrough earlier this week. It's understood that Sporting were still analysing the contracts for much of yesterday before finally being satisfied that there was a total agreement. Sporting are believed to be satisfied that they will receive the full amount, as the add-ons are deemed as, we're told, easily achievable. Gyokeres' agent waived his commission of around £5.6 million to help talks progress over the guaranteed fee. Arsenal, by the way, they play Newcastle in Singapore. That's on Sunday, and then they face North London rivals Tottenham in Hong Kong on Thursday. Mikel Arteta is keen to integrate all of his new signings into the squad as soon as possible ahead of the new season, and it looks like that Viktor Gyokeres deal is finally very, very close to being completed. If you look at his goal record in the last two seasons at Sporting, 97 goals. That is incredible. People will always question whether he can do it in the Premier League, which can sometimes feel a little bit arrogant when people say that. But in the Championship, he had a great goal record too, and probably earned the chance in the Premier League anyway.
Yeah, that's a great point. I know that people will point to Darwin Núñez and compare Gyokeres, but their goal-scoring record when both of them were playing in Portugal is incomparable, really. Gyokeres also, I think the most important thing, as much as some Arsenal fans wanted Šeško to sign for the club, Gyokeres comes with a maturity level, 27 years old, and he feels like a player who's paid his dues. You know, he's played in England before, albeit in a lower league. But at the same time, this is a player who's fought tooth and nail to become a gunner. And the difference, I think, this summer with a lot of our transfers is many of the players that we have brought in want to play for Arsenal. But I'm not sure there's ever been a player, Tom, who's exemplified the desire to join this club. It's incredible what he's given up, in the end, what his agent gave up. And there was, the opportunity to sign for his former manager at Manchester United too. But he only wanted to join one club. And I think we need to give credit to Andrea Berta, our new director of football, for making this happen, along with Mikel Arteta, who clearly sold him a vision and a pathway to what Arsenal will be this coming season.
Yeah, Rodrigo, obviously former Santos man who joined Real Madrid in 2019. He scored 32 goals in 172 La Liga appearances. He's won 3 La Liga titles. He's won 2 Champions Leagues. He's been at the heart of Real Madrid for the last 6 years since he made his debut in 2019. So he is exactly the type of player that Arsenal fans would say, yes, big box ticked. He's what we want. We want players of that kind of calibre. A Brazil international as well. We reported on the transfer show that he was a player of interest with regards to Mikel Arteta's rebuild over this summer. They're looking for players that can play down that left-hand side, which Rodrigo can. This morning we've had a little bit more detail to say that he's actually not just a player of interest, but one of Arsenal's top targets for that left-sided position. As things stand, there's been no formal club-to-club communication. This is very much just still interest at this stage. What Andrea Berta has been doing over the course of the last few weeks and months is just speaking to all of the relevant representatives for those players that they've targeted. So if they're on the Arsenal list, normally what would happen, the sporting director would speak to their agent, speak to their reps and say, right, what's the deal? How much would it cost to get him out of the club? Would he be interested in joining us and being a part of this project? How much would he want wages-wise? They formulate those lists and then they'll go back to the management team, obviously of Mikel Arteta, who has a heavy hand in recruitment, and say, right, this is what it's going to cost us. This is the metrics with regards to finance. Who do you want and in what order? Our information this morning is that one of the top targets for that left-sided position is Rodrigo. So it'll be interesting to see how things develop now. We know that there are other names that they're looking at. Nico Williams, of course, in Spain. Leroy Sané, who's a free transfer. Morgan Rogers, who's had an outstanding campaign for Aston Villa. And they're looking for proven quality. They're looking for players that can take them from being the nearly boys to the Premier League champions.